personally think Pokemon Legends ZA shouldn't reveal Pokemon X and Y's biggest secrets. But why? Pokemon X and Y was known for its plethora of mysteries, and fans all over the world speculated what they could be hinting at. For example, the locked-off factory that says the door is shut tight in the desert of Kalos has kept fans wondering if it was meant to ever be accessible or not. There has been no discovered entrance, and many have come up with various theories. However, there's still no way to know for sure. Many believe that with an upcoming Pokemon Z, these big questions would finally get answered. So everyone was waiting for the next game with very high expectations. And then that fated day came, and they opened up their devices and see this. Well, that puts a blunder on everything, doesn't it now? So there's no Pokemon Z, and there's many unanswered mysteries. What happens next? Do we ever expect answers? Probably not, and that has remained the case till this day. 10 years later, we still do not have any answers. Fans would continue to theorize about what secrets and mysteries these games may have held, but that could only last for so long. With an ever-changing world, people move on from things, and you could only theorize about something for so long. Eventually, people run out of things to talk about, and have said everything that could really be said on the topic, given how vague some of these mysteries were. This takes us to February 27, 2024. We were all expecting Unova or Johto remix, or more specifically, a Legends Arceus game for them, which would mean X and Y's mysteries getting solved 4 to 7 years later from then. So quite a while. But despite that being on everyone's minds, obviously, people decided to still tune in to see what's next for Pokemon. And what we got was what no one, like absolutely no one, besides those that did, expected. And that was a Pokemon Legends game for Kalos. Finally, all of our burning questions will get answered. Finally, the big mysteries will be revealed to us. Finally, we won't have to wait any longer. But is that how it should be? I personally started playing Pokemon with X and Y, and when playing, I never limited the game to what was. I always believed that there was more to the pixels that I was playing, something outside of the boundaries that I was seeing. Who knows what was beyond Koroway Town's train? Maybe an entire other region to explore, a new land to see, a DLC to play. Beyond the Ghost Girl's few vague appearances was a fleshed out story of two people that were trying to meet each other once more. Somewhere, these stories existed. Somewhere in my imagination. And I would like to imagine in many others' as well. These stories really had meaning to me, and I could spend hours just trying to imagine what was really going on. And a question that I've had for a while now is, how exactly did I even get hooked on Pokemon? And while I'm sure there are many answers, and it's all nuance at the end of the day, I still noticed a very big reason was that I got invested in these stories and characters, and the mystery that was behind them all. Pokemon has always felt very realistic to me because it's never delved into too many answers. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of fantasy elements going on, and it all has this realness to it that makes you feel like it could all be happening in our real world. And because we exist in our world and we understand how our world works, we have that room to understand that there's more going on to these things. They've built the perfect formula to keep people interested and continue playing because maybe they'll be able to piece together different puzzle pieces and figure it out. And they're playing what they feel like, given all these mysteries, making the game actually feel like a real world, comes together very well. Mystery is a part of life, and you don't have to know every single detail of it and understand why it is that way to be able to enjoy it. Sure, it definitely helps in certain regards, but if one can find acceptance in the questions before the answers, then they are setting themselves up for success in the long run. And we could pull a parallel to Pokemon's mysteries. Because Pokemon has so many unsolved questions, it feels like an interconnecting world that has fleshed out stories happening outside of it. The idea that there are many things that we don't know tells us the world is moving even when we are not there. Sure, this may be contradicted with other things, like the story game not progressing without us, but the idea still stays the same. We're simply observing the Pokemon world at our own pace. But outside of our character lies other characters with their own dreams and motivations. Remember in Koroway Town, there was a little note Professor Sycamore left? That also left a big impact on me. These characters have their own ambitions, and that happens irrelevant of us. So what was my original point? Yeah, Legend ZA has the potential to give us these answers that we are all waiting for. But is that really the best choice? Should we really have an answer to these questions and find ourselves no longer wondering about Pokemon X and Y? Wouldn't it be better to leave them unanswered? Maybe. I said I don't think they should answer these questions, but truthfully, maybe it would be for the best. It may instead reignite a hype for Pokemon X and Y that hasn't been felt in years. I still find it so interesting that Pokemon X&Y introduced so many new concepts that are currently beloved by most fans, like what I covered in my Pokemon X&Y is actually a good video, and is yet regarded as a below average game. So maybe this is finally a chance for redemption. They can even answer the questions in a way that leaves more questions and speculation that'll have people continue wondering for ages, while also satisfying the initial need for answering our original questions. There are many ways to go about it, but I'm excited to see what approach will be taken in all of this, and regardless of whether or not we get answers, I'm sure there will be someone complaining about it. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye!